So just before 10 o'clock this morning, officers were dispatched to this home behind us, and they were called to a death investigation. At the point the officers arrived, they noticed that there were 3 individuals that were inside the residence that were deceased. Homicide detectives were called out, and so we're currently investigating the whereabouts and everything in regards to the investigation.
Do you have a manner or signs of trauma?
At this point, it's under investigation, and so I'm going to take it step by step.
Does it look like somebody kicked in a door, or was it there was no damage to the dwelling, so maybe it was somebody that was known to these people?
At this time, it looks like the door was not forced open, and so we're trying to figure out exactly what took place inside so that we can go from there.
Do you know how many people reside there?
I do not know that off the top of my head.
Can you talk about adults or kids?
At this time, we know that there's adults inside. I don't know the specific ages, and I'm not sure if we, with that question, I mean, I'm not sure. It's still under investigation.
Does this look like a murder scene or like a murder-suicide scene?
Again, it's still early on, and so we're trying to figure that out now.
Can you tell us, do you think this was a domestic thing or family members?
Again, it's under investigation. We can't specifically say if it doesn't appear to be domestic, but at this time, it's still early on in the investigation.
What time did officers arrive, and how did they receive a 911 call, or how?
They did. Officers were called here. They were dispatched at 9:47, and they arrived at 9:51. So they were here very shortly after the incident.
And do the neighbors recall hearing gunshots or anything unless they last 12 hours?
Not to my knowledge at this time. And again, try to figure that out piece by piece.
Any suspects at this time?
Not at this time. There's no suspects that are listed at this time. And so.
Did you say who made the 911 call?
It was a relative of the homeowner.
Was it a welfare check?
They were.
Did they come to the house, or did they try to call them?
The individual had not shown up at work, and so they had a family member had them come check over here, and that's when they found the crime scene.
Any signs of robbery or any dishevelment? Or?
At this time, it's step by step.
I don't know if you talked about this. I noticed they were carrying a ladder around to the back of the house.
That was suspicious to me too. I don't know what the ladder was for. I don't know what the ladder was for.
Have neighbors been able to help you at all?
They've been talking. Each individual detective has been going house to house. I'm sure you've noticed them going from house to house to figure out exactly if they heard anything, if they seen anything, if they noticed anything about the house the day before, all of that.
Would you be aware of whether or not IMPD had ever been called to this location before?
Not to my knowledge, but I can't give you the 100% fact on that. I'm not sure. No.
Could you tell how long the people had been dead, or if it seemed like it was fairly recent?
They believe it was fairly recent.
Are all 3 of the victims residents of this household, or no?
I don't believe so.
No. You don't think so?
No, I do not think so.
You don't think they're residents, or you don't think they're strangers?
No, I don't think they're not strangers.
Okay.
No, they're not strangers.
So they're residents.
Yeah, but the question was if they all lived here, and that's not the case.
Do you know what time the person was supposed to be at work today or yesterday?
After 7.
After 7.
Mm-hmm.
Can you say, are these people who you believe were visiting the home, or, I mean?
I think if we do that, we'll go into their investigation, so I don't want to go any further into that.
Were there people in the home at the time who were not deceased?
No.
Okay, so the only people who were in that home were the 3 deceased?
That's correct.
And all adults?
I can't give you that 100% sure because the crime lab or the coroner has to be able to make identification. So I don't know that to be certain.
Put the crime scene, the response in context, because there seems to be an awful lot of detectives and an awful lot of crime scene vans for one incident.
Of course, and I think part of the reason why it is that we have 3 victims, and so typically you see 1 or 2 trucks. The equipment that they have on their vehicles, they need more equipment and gear to be able to investigate this crime the way it needs to be investigated. There's obviously 3 victims here, and so we need all the resources we can to figure out exactly what took place here today.
Were all 3 victims found in the same room?
That's more of an investigative thing at this time.
I'm sorry, what did he ask?
If all 3 victims were in the same room.
Okay. Is it there's an upper level, lower level? Is
Yeah.
There a basement level?
I don't know. I have not been inside the residence, but I do know that it's Upstairs and downstairs.